I grew up in country Queensland, so each Christmas this means a road trip home to visit my family, my mum, my dad, my brother and his family. We have done this every year for nearly 25 years since I left the country to move to the big smoke. We would wake up really early, as little kids always do on Christmas Day, and watch them open presents excitedly over the first coffee of the day. Then we would take our kids to church, and singing the Christmas carols would be such a great way to anticipate the rest of the day ahead. The effort of packing up the car would always take several hours worth of planning. When we planned our road trip home, we would have to think about toys, nappies, snacks and drinks, and whether we had enough of each to get through the whole visit. Then we'd have to plan the trip itself. Where would we stop? We'd have to stop every hour for a bathroom break or a snack or a break from a howling tantrum. By the time we arrived at our destination some hours later, tempers were sometimes frayed, we couldn't wait to get out of the car, and we were all hangry. But when we walked into my mum and dad's house with their little twinkling Christmas tree and the smell of the roast leg of lamb, roast potatoes and gravy coming from the kitchen, all was forgotten, and we remembered to enjoy the spirit of Christmas. The kids would gather around the pile of presents and gleefully rip open the wrapping paper. Mum and Dad's quiet house would be ringing with the shouts of happy and overstimulated children. After lunch, we would always play a game of backyard cricket, and we would get a little competitive, imagining ourselves as the opening batsman at the Boxing Day Test and scoring a century in front of an adoring crowd. It was at this time of the afternoon that the storms would often roll in. We would sit in the lounge room, somehow finding room to eat dessert, always Mum's pavlova, and have a chat. The trip home was in the dark. The kids were well and truly exhausted, their haul of presents in the back of the car, our stomachs full of good food and another Christmas day done. These days, my kids are teenagers and the car rides are more peaceful thanks to pre-downloaded Netflix shows on their iPads. We don't need to make as many bathroom or snack stops. Backyard cricket match is a bit more subdued, but one thing that hasn't changed is spending Christmas with family. For us, Christmas is not about the presents or the tree. It's about coming together as a family and enjoying our time together. It's a precious Christmas tradition that my kids have grown up with and we hope will continue into the future.
In the first chapter of Luke's Gospel, we hear the story of Mary heading off on a long and arduous journey to visit her cousin Elizabeth. Mary, newly pregnant, took this journey because she knew that Elizabeth was also pregnant, and so she went there to help Elizabeth with the pregnancy and birth. When Elizabeth greeted Mary, the baby inside Elizabeth leapt. She stayed with Elizabeth for about 3 months and then made the long journey back home again. This was no simple stroll or donkey ride for Mary. It was a long and dangerous journey, and one that took lots of preparation and effort. Julie told us of her great journey every Christmas, one that also has its challenges and huge amounts of preparation. However, in both stories, the reward far outweighs the effort. The encounter with those we love at Christmas is an encounter with Christ and is a key to the celebration of the season. How will you encounter Christ and those you love this Christmas? How do you prepare?